mortgage purchase applications have dropped by 30%. Most Americans think there is a recession coming by the end of 2022. Hey there, I'm Nagarajannaya and I'm here to talk about the Bay Area housing market. It's been hot for years, but now things are changing. In fact, home prices are dropping by 20% on Zillow. That's a big change. So, what does that mean for you? Are you curious about what's happening in your own neighborhood? Are houses selling faster or slower than they used to? Maybe you're thinking about buying a house but don't know where to start. Well, in this episode, I'm going to talk about all of those things. I'll talk about pending home sales falling for the 6th straight month in the US housing market and how that affects your ability to get a mortgage loan. I'll talk about home prices softening and also give you sane advice, such as when one housing market in the Bay is too pricey, look at another. I'll also talk about the new regulations in the US aimed at reducing the price of fire insurance, but actually costing citizens more. Let's get started. How is the market in San Jose Communications Hill? Well, it's a little choppy. It seems like house prices are slowing down in the area. But that doesn't mean you can't find a great deal. If you're looking for an investment property or a first-time home buyer, now is the time to buy. One of my clients recently bought a house in Communications Hill for $1.37 million. The comparable for this house was $1.4 million. So they got a great deal for this house. And even that wasn't enough to sell at that price. People looking for houses with patios. If your house doesn't have it, its value drops. I bought one house and just sold one. There was not much rush in the market because prices are a bit slowing down and buyers have become more choosy nowadays. If you're interested in buying or selling homes in the Communications Hill, call me now because I just bought one and sold one house in the Communications Hill and I have great insights of this area. I'm going to tell you about a really cool thing that's happening in the real estate market right now. Home prices on Zillow have dropped by 20%. What does that mean? Well, it means that if you're thinking about buying a house, now is the time to do it because home prices are at the lowest in 5 years and they are only going to go up from here. Interest rate also dropped by 0.125% APR last week. It was 3.75% to 7 by 1 now. How can I be so sure? Well, I went on a Zillow and looked up the price of houses in my neighborhood. And guess what? The average cost of a house has dropped by 20% since last year. That means if you buy a house right now, you're getting a way more bang for your buck than if you waited until the next year. So when should you buy? Well, there are two schools of thought. On this one, some people think that buying now will lead to an even bigger drop in the prices later. Others think that now is the time to buy because prices will go up again soon enough. But why is all of this happening in the last 2 months? Because of inflation, stock market crash, higher mortgage rates. No wonder mortgage purchase applications have dropped by 30%. Most Americans think there is a recession coming by the end of 2022. All I can say is that the housing market prices are getting more realistic than they did in the last 2 years. Which is good news for home buyers. There's more good news for home buyers. The CEO of Redfin, Glenn Kelman, saying that US home prices are going to soften. He said that there are some mixed signals out there when it comes to home prices. On one hand, it's still high in certain areas of the country. On the other hand, they are low in others. So overall, Kelman thinks that we are headed towards softening a market both nationally and regionally. It's important for buyers and sellers to understand what this means. If your home has been lingering in the market for a while and you're worried about what it might be worth when you go to sell it later, then you should consider lowering your price now before things get even worse. we have seen some big changes over the last few months, including a drop in pending home sales for the 6th straight month. The National Association of Realtors says that this is because of a lack of inventory and the rising mortgage rates, both of which are making it harder for would-be buyers to get homes. So what does it mean for you? If you're thinking about buying a house in the next year or so, you might want to start looking now before prices go up even more and before your chances of finding one dwindle. And if you're already out shopping for a home, expect way more than you were planning on. You might have heard of the Bay Area housing market and you might have wondered whether it's too pricey. The median sale price for a Bay Area home last month was at 1.4 million, which is almost a 16% increase over the last April. Now, I'll tell you how you can buy a home without breaking in the bank. Let's say you're looking for a house in San Francisco, and let's say that there are tons of homes for sale, but none of them are affordable for you. What should you do? Well, look at another city. According to a data by apartment list, expensive neighborhoods in San Francisco are Pacific Heights, 3,799, Mission Bay, 3,708, and Northern Waterfront, 3,606. The most affordable regions in San Francisco are Noble, which is like 3,390, Lower Noble, 2,892, and the Tenderloin, 2,515. What's more, you can find even more affordable homes if you move away from urban and upscale areas. So, if you buy now in the suburban areas, when prices are low and competition is less intense, your home will be worth more later when prices and demand shoot up. I just wanted to give you some information about new regulations in the US that are going to make it harder for you to get a fire insurance. These regulations have been implemented to reduce the cost of a fire insurance, but they're doing the opposite. Here is what's happening. A few months ago, I had a house in San Jose which is close to a mountains, near to a mountain, that was never in a fire hazard zone. But the recent NSD changes has upgraded from my home from a non-hazardous zone to a bushfire zone. This change meant that all my insurance fees went up, and not just by little bit. It looks like I'm going to be paying twice as much as before. Problem is, major insurance providers are unwilling to sell me any insurance because their calculations say there's too much risk associated with insuring me and my property. But there are still some good insurance providers out there who will help me get a coverage. There aren't many, and if I find some more, I'll let you know. The current insurance providers, whichever I got, is too expensive. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you're thinking about selling your home, I highly recommend that you take time to watch my other video in the things to watch out before listing your home. Watch it before you sell your home, and then get in touch with a real estate agent like me who's looking out for the best interests. If you'd like to talk more about selling your home, call me now. I'm a single stop solution for all your real estate needs. Bye for now.